Hey guys, it's Jaden back at you again with a video lesson. This one is going to be called The Guinea Pigs, Why You Should Embrace Failure and the Lessons from It. So the purpose of this lesson is to discipline the ego. And I don't mean to say that as if I'm like some mad scientist or psychologist, but I think the biggest difficulty with entrepreneurs trying to become successful is being impatient. And not only being impatient with how long it's going to take, but how many people it's going to take, if that makes sense. So if you have to talk to 1,000 people, like Thomas Edison, it took him 1,000 different times to get one successful experiment, and he was the guy who said, at the end of my longevity, I'm going to have 1,100 inventions that were successful, which if he stayed true to that virtue, that means that 11,000 times, only 1,100, 10% was successful. So put it into perspective. Make sure that when you're going out and talking to clients and looking at the numbers, that you're being realistic and maybe even a little bit under-realistic. For example, for me, I've talked to about 160 different owners, I would say, and I've only closed 6. So my closing rate is actually much less than 10%, because technically I should be double what I'm at and a little more. I should be at 16 if I'm at 10%. So mine's actually under 5%. And I'm not saying that I'm happy or sad about that. I would like to say that everybody to each their own. But the biggest lesson that you should take away from the numbers game, I like to call it, is always think about increasing the number. It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors, right? If you're playing rock, paper, scissors for something with a friend and you say best out of 3 and you lose 2, right? You're gonna be like, all right, let's do best out of 5, right? So that you have a better chance of succeeding. Think about going after people in your business for services on trying to get a client. Think about it as an ever-increasing game of rock, paper, scissors, okay? Because if you think that it's just going to be three people that you have to talk to and you only have to get 2 wins to be successful, I'm sorry to tell you, but that is going to defeat your longevity as a business from the get-go. So that's the first lesson. That's the biggest lesson I say you should take away from this. The guinea pigs. So when I went out and started talking to clients the second day, I experienced, I would say, 3 to 4 failures a day for about 4 days. So the first 10 people I talked to, I would say, I think only 2 of them actually were willing to sit down with me, and they both rejected me. And it was those 2 individuals who were open enough to at least sit down with me and talk to me that I would continue to go back to and try to repitch them. I knew that their answer was going to be no, but it's the fact that I could come back at them with different questions and different value proposals and see what they responded to the best and what they responded to the least. And I think that is a crucial piece of information that you should try to execute in your business plan. So if you have one client that said no to you already, I would recommend to go back to that client maybe in 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, however long it takes you. I personally went back in 3 days, and I would ask them the same question. Hey, are you interested in these services? Your business could grow, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's very, very good for follow-up to not only increase your learning and speed it up, but also it will increase the chances of you getting a client. Because one of my clients actually, out of the 6, the most recent one, 6, I've pitched him 4 times. 3 times he's told me no. The last time he decided to say yes. And he said the reason why he said yes wasn't because of the value, wasn't because of the consistency, wasn't because of the discipline. It was the fact that I continued to come back with no change in enthusiasm. It was the fact that no matter how he rejected me, no matter what I told him, I would still be the same. And so you need to have that consistency. It's kind of like what Joe Soto talked about in one of his video lessons. Make sure that you are willing to hold their hand and be consistent with your tempered emotions so that they don't have to experience that fluctuation. So I hope that that makes sense. I hope that that benefits you guys in going out and pitching and staying disciplined and being patient with your results. Always understand that failure is a process required to become successful. So my goal for everybody is to go out and pitch 10 clients this week. So if it's a Monday, by Friday, you've talked to at least 10 people. Not gone there and got rejected. I mean, sit down and talk to them. So if you can, sit down, write down a different business plan that you had before this. If you incorporated this already into your business plan, write down 10 different businesses that you want to go and talk to. If you don't talk to every single business owner, write down 10 more until you've reached the 10, okay? Let me know what you guys thought about this, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.